1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato, more.
I wasn't even doing it right. So we're going to talk to you about sweet potatoes versus white potatoes, because that's a common question you get is, should I have...
Yeah, we get this on a weekly basis,
Should I be having white potatoes or should I be having sweet potatoes in my diet?
It's trendy at the moment to have sweet potatoes,
Yeah.
let's face it.
Which are not yams, by the way. I want to clear that right up.
Are they not?
They're cousins of the yam, but they are not the yam.
If you're Americans like the yams, don't they?
Well, that's right. I actually genuinely thought they were yams.
I thought they were yams as well. I just thought it was a British version of yams, so it's not.
Yeah, but apparently they're the cousins of yams.
They're cousins of yams.
And actually, since I'm on a roll here,
let's go.
Sweet potatoes and regular potatoes are actually not related.
Oh, well, I knew that.
They're both tubers.
But
Regular potatoes actually related to tomatoes and peppers.
hey, are they really?
Well, that's right. So what happens is they actually produce a poisonous substance called solanine. This is why you're not supposed to eat the leaves or the root. However, sweet potato, you could munch down on those leaves.
Oh, right, okay.
Because
obviously, when you get a normal potato, if it starts to sprout, you're like, whoa, that's a no-go. You don't eat a sprouting potato because it becomes
It's crown sprouting.
Yeah, we just don't do that.
No,
we don't do that.
Yes, first of all, you have to remember that they're a good source of carbohydrate. So you would have to look at your dietary routine and where your carbohydrates are coming from. So sweet potato or regular potato, you've got to check the carbohydrates.
And in terms of the carbohydrate content of the sweet potato versus normal potato, is it roughly even?
If we were looking at the glycemic index, there's glycemic index and glycemic load. So just quickly, the glycemic index is how quickly the carbohydrate gets from the food through your belly into the blood. The glycemic load is how much of that product gets into the blood system. So generally, the sort of fashionable thing is to look at the glycemic index alone. So it's like, oh, something's high on the GI scale, oh, stay away from it.
Yeah.
That's where this has all come from, because the regular potato is higher on the glycemic index.
Therefore, the advice is to stay away from normal potatoes.
And that's where the trends come in. Let's go for sweet potatoes because they're lower. However, sweet potatoes are actually higher on the glycemic load.
Wow, okay. So to give you a bit of an insight, if you're not too sure about the glycemic index and glycemic load here, if you look at something like watermelon, now everyone knows watermelon is quite sweet, it's quite nice, juicy, people like it, but it's actually really, really high on the glycemic index. Now, conventional thinking, you might think, well, it's high on the glycemic index, therefore we're going to stay away from that. But actually, the carbohydrate content within the watermelon is so low, because it's basically got water, that the glycemic load is actually really, really low.
It's little or none, I can't
so actually, watermelon's good to go. We can have that, as much as you want.
Right, so we've looked at glycemic index, glycemic load.
Yep.
So, what other factors could come into play?
Well, when it comes to how the food is released, I always like to look at the fibre content of these foods. So, I believe that the fibre content is higher in the sweet potato. So again, it's another tick in the box for the sweet potato. Ding. So maybe your pal down the gym was right, you should be having the sweet potato.
Yeah.
Or were they right?
Well, if you're anemic, suffer from low iron, go for the regular potato. It's high in iron.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's actually higher in protein.
Well, we like our protein.
So that's the thing. The big trend is high protein, low GI.
All about the protein.
So we're going to have to fight the corner of the regular potato here. It's higher in protein.
And iron. That's a clear winner in my books.
Is it?
Well, but I like the fibre as well. Oh, it's a tough one.
Well,
what would you go for?
Let's knock out the park then. Sweet potato is very high in vitamin A, which is good for the peepers. Bing bing. Yeah, very, very high in vitamin A. Fantastic source. And actually a source of calcium as well, believe it or not.
Okay, well there. The calcium, the vitamin A, the fibre. I think the sweet potato has to be a clear winner. But that's not to say you can't have normal potatoes.
No.
There's a time and place for everything in your diet. And I myself quite enjoy normal potato.
Depending on how you prepare them, changes the glycemic value of them.
Right, well, this opens up a whole lot of can of worms. So, the cooking method changes the glycemic load or glycemic index of that food. Okay, so let's open that up.
Alright.
What do you mean?
So, if you want to eat them raw, then regular potato is much higher naturally than a sweet potato. So if you're just biting into them, well, that would be pretty awful.
Pretty disgusting.
Through the mud and everything, the sweet potato's lower. If you then decided to boil them, for example, the sweet potatoes glycemic index does rise slightly, but not too high. I think it's about 50 or 60 on the scale.
Okay, about halfway.
And I think, don't quote me this on figures, whereas a regular potato gets up to about 80, maybe 90.
Okay,
Depending on which scale you read. However, if you were to bake them, remember baking goes to a much higher temperature, that's when it goes right through the roof. For both of them, actually.
Oh, really?
And more so for the sweet potato, although the glycemic index value goes up, so remember that's how fast it gets to the blood, the glycemic load shoots right up.
Wow. Shoot straight up.
I said it and I was like, oh no.
Normal shooting.
So when you bake them,
Sorry, my face is like.
So when you bake them, the values go even.
Fuck's sake. Not gonna laugh.
Right. Right. We apologise that we were not professional enough to complete that statement. However, the text is going to appear on the screen of what we were trying to say. And when it comes up, please don't ask us to repeat it. So that's what happens when you bake it.
And we can't even explain why that was funny.
No, we can't.
Not for your ears.
No. But just know that when you bake it, it goes up.
It goes up. It does, it goes up.
If you were to choose, if you were to be stranded on a desert island and you were told, Stephen, you can only pick either. Now, you're going to have an abundance of them here.
Yeah.
It's just like the Martian here.
Ooh, right.
You can either have regular potatoes for the rest of your days or sweet potatoes for the rest of your days. But you've got to pick one.
You're stuck on a desert island. See, there's my survival instincts coming in. I would go for the sweet potato because you can just eat it. You don't have to worry about it sprouting in the leaves and everything else. You can just get right into it.
I have to agree. So when it comes to choosing your potato, it's really important that you plan ahead
And then stick to the damn plan.
One potato, two potato,
Three potato, 4.
5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, potato, 4.